is I'm going to cut this off here on either side and reuse the end brackets here and build the crossmember off of here, and we'll build a rear drive shaft loop into that with the bottom of it removable so we can get the drive shaft in and out. And in that way, I know exactly what my transmission tunnel is going to look like coming back, and we can actually start working on the floor pan back here. So we think we might have actually a solution for the rear seats here that's going to be, I think, kind of interesting. We got some car out back that's going to be going to scrap once we pull the engine out of it for something else. And it's got some rear seats in it that we think we can use back here. So I'm going to just turn the owner of the car loose on cutting that thing out there and see how that goes. So now we got all this cut out and got some caps here, something we can weld to. Now I need to start figuring out what this crossmember is actually going to look like. And we do know that we want the top of the crossmember to be kind of roughly flush with the top of the frame across here. We don't want it to go any higher than that, except for wherever we're going to have a clearance here. But that's okay because we think we have a set of seats here that's going to allow for that. But we need to know what our full droop is of our drive shaft and our full bump as well to know how much space we need in here for the drive shaft loop for the rear. And the crossmember is going to be just the top half, sort of like what I did in the front here, just the top half of that. And then we're going to utilize a modified version of this. We're going to take this, modify it a little bit, whatever we need to do to it, to make a bolt-in piece for the bottom of it that can be removed to make it easy to take the drive shaft out, yet be a drive shaft loop to contain the drive shaft if he ever breaks a U-joint, which is possible because he does plan on, burning a few sets of tires off on this thing. So that could happen. Of course, I think with this particular rear end, he'll probably break the rear end before the U-joint, but if he does that, we'll be upgrading the rear end, and then we will need the drive shaft loop. So now we need to determine how high is the drive shaft going to go at full bump. Now, since we do have drops, springs, and blocks here, we don't have a whole lot of room between the bump stop and the rear axle, so we need to do a C-notch here. We picked up these little C-notch brackets here off of Amazon. We're going to put those on here, and these are made so that we got a little bump stop that bolts through here. We're going to get little 1-inch tall bump stops to put in there. And I believe these are made so that you can line up this hole, one hole here to this, and then get them to the edge, corner and corner here. And then we're going to actually weld them on rather than bolt them on, because there is a little bit of rust in this section. And welding them on will make all this a lot stronger than just bolting it and help us account for that little bit of rust. So we need to figure out where this is going to be at and then make a mark across here, and we can measure from here down to there and figure out how much it's going to go up before it hits the bump stop. And we went ahead and got our shocks out, which these are Beltac Nitro Drop 2s. And actually they have these on Amazon as well. That's where we got these. We'll put a link in the description to all this stuff if you want any of those for your S10 chassis project. So these are made for when you have drop suspension, not for standard ride height stuff. We went ahead and checked it, pulled one out, made sure whether the shocks are going to limit the travel or not down, and they're not. There's a couple extra inches there, so it really comes down to the springs, how far it's going to go down. So we want to account for a little bit more than we have now, because just with the weight of the wheels and stuff, it's going to go a little bit lower than what it is now, and you have to account for all of that. So we'll try to make sure we got enough space so the drive shaft doesn't hit the loop if he like jumps a set of railroad tracks or something, you know, odd like that happens. And I get all the way to full droop. So we go ahead and line this up, the corner here, corner there, on that. And we figure that's about where it's going to be. We can make a line here and say, that's about it. Now we can also place this if we want to a little bit higher than that, because I can't see the top of the rail to know where it's sitting. So we're kind of guessing at the moment, but that looks about right. So we know that from down here, where it's at now, up to that, it's about 6.5 inches. Now, the bump out's going to be 1 inch thick, and we might end up cutting it slightly higher than that. So we want to account for more than 6.5 inches. So we'll probably account for between 7 and 7.5 inches, just to make sure we got plenty of clearance. So if we measure here, since we're so close to the U-joint here, we're almost right at it, you can pretty much figure every inch that moves, we're going to have 1 inch here. There's not going to be any difference. And we got about 7.5 inches right now, which means the amount of hump we have here is just going to be how much clearance we want once it's hit full bump and hit, you know, so that's not going to be that much, but we need that above the top of the cross member. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making a cross member, probably just make a straight one going across, and then we'll cut the center of it out and then make the rest of it, rather than doing it in multiple pieces like we did the front one. So let's get started on making that. I need to figure out what this angle is to cut this back, which I could probably go ahead and use the angle finder here on both sides, because this is pretty level, and then mark those on both sides, cut them. Or I'll just do this 49, we'll write them here. I could probably cut them both at 48 and be close enough. Huh? Think?
That's what I was gonna say, split the difference. Like 47. I'm gonna cut this one at 47 and this one at 49 and
Yeah.
how about 48? Yeah, 48.
Well, where this one's 48.
See? That's the ticket.
I just approximated. I approximated 45 degrees when I did this. This one's 43. I don't. Okay. This is in the ballpark. You take over off the backside to level it out some. It's higher here than it is down here. But yeah, that's pretty darn close. All right, so I went ahead and bent 2 more pieces for the bottom here. We put them in there and I got these trimmed up to where they actually fit to the cross member on either side really nicely, or at least close enough to weld. And then I found the center line of the drive shaft, and we went over to make it 5 inches wide, same as we did at the front. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this top piece from the drive shaft loop here, and we're going to cut a hole through here, and this should stick up through about 1/2 inch and we'll weld this in here as the top part of the hoop, and then all I gotta do is just fill in that little half moon here and there, and that'll close all that in. And then we'll take this, we'll take this apart, flip it around, and make this the bottom of the drive shaft loop, but it'll bolt on here and then come around at whatever height we need it to be at once we get it in there and take some measurements. And then we'll weld in nuts into the back side of this to bolt this to in 2 places either side. That way we can unbolt this, get it out of the way to take the drive shaft in and out whenever we need to. Just keep cleaning that up until it all fits in there, slides through. So basically it'll just be like that.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
And then we'll cut it off here, trim this up and weld it all the way around. And then as soon as I do a little bit of final fitting, and that'll be the top part of it. Actually, I misspoke there for a minute because, yeah, once we get all this welded together, I'm cutting this section out because we need that. So we're not going to be putting a half moon piece in there. I don't know why I said that. So now I just need to take this thing back apart. We've got everything marked for cutting. So we can cut this off here, and then we'll punch some holes all the way through here so we can put it back together, plug weld it all together, get this back in here, and weld all this stuff up, and then I can cut this part out. All right. So we decided to make a little change on the fly instead of it being like this and bolting on like they normally do it, because we're not sure if we got quite enough distance or not because we haven't measured that yet. I think we're going to need a little more. We're going to go ahead and turn it this way. Then we can just use these holes, 2 of these holes, to hold it in here. And then as soon as we get our measurement here, we can cut this off wherever we want, put this in there, and just cut this off and get our distance whatever we need. Gives us more to work with, and I don't have to re-drill holes on this side to fit that. So now I just need to get a measurement from here down here, and for the amount of clearance that I want to get right here, and then we can weld together that bottom part of the loop. See, we know from here to there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty decent size. If we want an inch clearance, it'll be 12 inches down.
Oh, that's more than enough.
Well, that's giving me an inch clearance down here. So,
Yeah, with the loop.
will it ever drop any further than that with when it unloads with the weight of the wheels and everything on it or not? Well, what do you think?
Yep.
I think that'll be good enough.
It's the lowest ride, so.
That gives us, with the weight of the wheels and shock on the thing, a lot to hang down here. And we look across, make sure it's not hanging so low that it might catch things. That's the other thing.
It's not. It's above the exhaust.
No, it didn't. It's hanging just about the same as the exhaust.
Okay.
So that should be okay if it's hanging the same as the exhaust. I wouldn't want it hanging any lower than that. So, all right, let's finish cutting it and weld that together, and then we can weld this in here.
Yeah.
Well, it's in there. I still got to weld the bottom side yet, but I'm not going to crawl under there right now. And it's plenty strong enough, so shouldn't have any problems with it.